The big issue with what's happening today is companies are buying training and they're lining up their people for Zoom calls or workshops for hours and hours at a time. 87% of what is being learned is forgotten in 30 days. And so when they're actually working a deal and they're like, wait a minute, who's the economic buyer? And how do I define economic buyer? And who's my champion? And how do I know they're my champion? How do I test my champion? Are they champion? Are they coach? Boom, just click on the little video and then you get a little 3-minute refresher, open up the PDF, and you can do all that in Salesforce. You do all that from the SalesHood library, and you can do all that from your mobile device, from wherever you are. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Excited to have you here for our MEDDICC by SalesHood launch. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for the industry. It's a big deal for our customers. And it's something that is available now and actionable. And we're really excited to share it with all of you. And I'm joined by my colleague, Nate Carmody, who's here with me. And we're going to together share with you what MEDDICC by SalesHood is all about. Nate, say hello.
Hey, Eli, thanks so much for having me today. Really excited to show everybody what we have with MEDDICC today. So very exciting launch.
Listen, welcome. My name is Eli Cohen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SalesHood. Excited to have you here. Excited to launch MEDDICC by SalesHood, joined by my colleague, Nate. And Nate and I are going to walk you through it. And so there is a massive transformation happening in the industry. We're seeing the industry is shifting from a mindset of capacity to efficiency. Everyone in the industry now is trying to figure out how they're going to get more of their sales teams to perform like their best. We're reacting and we're proactively providing something to the market, MEDDICC by SalesHood, because we're just so excited. The core problem that we're seeing in the industry today is there are still too many of our salespeople around the world are not efficient. They're not hitting their numbers. They're not closing deals fast enough. They're not ramping fast enough. And so the stat here, 43% of sellers are only hitting quota. 20% of our sellers are creating 80% of our revenue. These are some insights and trends that we're seeing across the board. We're also listening to a lot of calls. And what we're not seeing on calls are thoughtful, authentically curious questions where teams are trying to uncover who is the economic buyer, trying to build relationships with their champions. They're trying to identify metrics. They're trying to identify what are the implications of pain. So these are conversations that are not happening. Many of our sellers around the world, and maybe you're experiencing this, many of our sellers around the world are trying to just sell features and sell products, but they're not trying to solve problems. And what we're also seeing in the world today, 87% of sales training is forgotten within a month. So we're trying to train our people, but once we train them, they forget about it. It doesn't stick. Reinforcement isn't there. We're not coaching the right way. And the other big trend that we're seeing in the industry is only 35% of seller time is spent engaging with buyers. Processes are too complex. Content is too hard to find. And one other big thing that's happening in the industry today, decision makers, you know what? The ones that are making the buy decisions, they want to keep engaging with vendors remotely, digitally. They want to, so we've got a situation where our sellers are not performing the way they need to perform. They're not conversationally competent on how to deliver, strategic level, engaging, discovery, authentically curious conversations. They're not embracing kind of their champions and helping them build real value in their conversations, right? So given this context, plus you layer in kind of a growth recession and a slowdown, you layer all that in and you got to say, listen, there's got to be a way to lift the effectiveness and efficiency of our people. And software alone isn't going to do it. And so with SalesHood, we are purpose-built. There's sales enablement software, there's sales training content, and there's coaching services in order to deliver on the promise of helping to improve effectiveness and improve efficiency. Our customers have been working closely with us. And so our customers over the last 3 to 6 months have said, hey, we're using MEDDICC, we're using MEDDICC. It's having a great impact, but we've got no way to train and reinforce our people. We've done the initial training, but what now? What do we do next? And so some of our customers that have already leaned into MEDDICC and integrating MEDDICC with sales that have seen tremendous results. I love the plan view story. Penny Springer is amazing. 96% of their teams have achieved ramp quota attainment in their first 90 days. Yext, 2.5x improvement in time to ramp, and they're doing well. These are companies that have already leaned into MEDDICC, but they worked with us, they collaborated with us. And so we've given early sneak peek of MEDDICC to Penny and her team, and her feedback is SalesHood's MEDDICC is impressive, and it's designed to help organizations quickly start building enablement to adopt, and our teams are loving it. Given the context of the industry, given everything going on, given the non-stellar performance of our teams around the world, you can expect to see with MEDDICC by SalesHood improved seller effectiveness. You can expect to see deal urgency lifting up. You can expect to see deals progressing faster. MEDDICC is going to guide your teams to be more urgent in their deal progression and in their deal strategies, in their conversations with champions and in their conversations with economic buyers. For those of you that are driving the programs and trying to figure out how you're going to scale the programs and integrate it with your go-to-market, you're going to be able to scale MEDDICC in your go-to-market with SalesHood by scaling training, coaching, and reinforcement. So these are some of the benefits that you can expect to see. What is it? 30 on-demand video lessons, 15 deal coaching exercises, selling guides, turnkey coaching huddles, sales performance assessments. It's end-to-end. We're here to provide you with a prepackaged system that enables you to move fast, move very fast. And the beauty is it's customizable as well. So what our customers have been telling us is what's great about MEDDICC by SalesHood is it's got all the great videos, it's got all the great templates, it's got all the great coaching, reinforcement guidance, but I can customize it. I can tailor it to my business. I can clone, I can use your videos. And you know, Nate, I think this is the cue for you, because I think enough of me talking, and now it's time for you to show a little bit of what MEDDICC by SalesHood looks like. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let you take over.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Eli. So first of all, can you see my screen?
We can see your screen and we hear you great, and you're looking sharp with the jacket.
Love it. We're trying on a Friday. So what I love about MEDDICC, and this is my experience as a learner, I come in here, I land in SalesHood or MEDDICC by SalesHood, and I can see my assigned learning that's assigned to me here. I can see my progress in the path. I can see where I am in an individual lesson. Let's look into the actual learning path. And one of the great things about the MEDDICC content that we've got, Eli, is that it's already all pre-built out in a structure that you could just drag and drop and deploy to your team. You could enter your participant's name, put their entire team right in here. And I've got my leaderboard so I can track people. But here's the schedule I go through as a learner. So I come in, and before I start diving into my metrics and my economic buyer, I've got a good introduction with some videos there, an outline. I've got my foundational skills, and this is already kind of timelined out for me here. So I don't have to worry about cramming this all into a certain time period. And for your team, it's flexible. You know, maybe you want to drag and drop, and you're gonna spread these lessons out and change where they live for your team. And then when they go in, it's already structured, right? So it's plug and play right out of the box. But the other great piece is it doesn't really have to be plug and play, and you're not tied to this. So if we were to go into the MEDDICC library that we have here, and I'll just click over to the collection of the content. Again, getting away from that rigid structure, that doesn't exist here. So we've got all of the bite-sized video lessons individual here. And here they are, right?
That's a lot of me, Nate.
It's a lot of you, Eli. And it looks like I need to finish up some of mine. I'm only about halfway done with all of yours here, but I can go in, and what's nice about these is I can utilize these one-off in a learning path. So if I'm doing a learning path and I just want to utilize one of your videos here, I could drop that in my learning path, in my pre-existing learning path or an onboarding path, so that somebody can just use just that video. And then going back to the library here, I've got the coaching guides living separately from those videos. So if I wanted to go ahead and drop in, here's the decision criteria. What does that look like? Well, pop that open here. And I could, again, insert this somewhere else into a pre-existing learning path if I had it, or an onboarding path if I had it. So very flexible and
You
multi-use.
could also have the videos and the coaching guides could show up in Salesforce. So they're just in time if I'm working a deal as a reminder too, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. These could be tagged specifically. So if, for example, you wanted to do one of those exercises on identifying the economic buyer, maybe that's tied to your sales stage in Salesforce. Okay, I've done my demo, I've done a bunch of qualifications. Do I know if this deal is real? I'm going to go through my champion exercise, right? And say, okay, hold on, it's time to test my champion. And I get reminded of that as a seller. And then, of course, same idea over here. I've got my sales tools and templates. We're going to use those. And that can be an example of how to write an email recap. And same thing, you're going to be tying these to Salesforce, putting these in front of the salespeople when they need it to be successful in an opportunity. The purpose of showing everybody that in the library is that it's all very modular, right? It's all very flexible. So if you've got something built out, you don't have to put somebody through our learning path that's pre-built for you, but you have the option of it. If you're starting from scratch and you don't have something built out, we've got the learning path. Drop them in it and they'll go through it in a structured way that you can track and then measure the impact on. So here I am. I'm about halfway through my decision criteria here. I'm going to drop into that. And let's just take a look at what that would look like for me as a learner. So I've got a couple of videos. First of all, I'm going to get my definition where I'm learning from the best here. I've got Eli telling me a little bit about what a decision criteria looks like. And those pieces of content that we were just showing, those are tied right here in the huddle, in the micro learning, so that I can resource those and easily open those up as a learner. I don't have to go hunting for them. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to watch my couple videos, and then it's time for me to do the exercises. So I can come in here and I can give an example of how have I worked with companies to help shape their decision criteria if it didn't work for me. And the other piece that's super nice is I don't have to do this solo. I'm going to collaborate with my peers here. So I can open up and I can see, what did my peers submit? What did they say a great
Nice.
example is and how they did things?
Great
So
peer-to-peer, great collaboration. I love it.
exactly. So for me as a learner, it's structured, it's easy, it's intuitive. I've got all of my resources. I'm learning from my peers. I'm watching these pre-built videos, and I can see exactly where I need to be right here in my progress. And then for me as somebody who might be an enablement leader or one of the customers that's adminning, so many different ways to utilize these, right? I can use the pre-built path, drop people into them, or I can use the modular videos and exercises and resources that we have, and I can leverage those into my existing paths. Eli, what do
I
you
love
think?
it.
Is there anything else that we should touch on?
I think this is great. There are questions that we're going to take in a moment. Could you do me a favor? Let's click. I want to go a little deeper on one thing. Click on MEDDICC and click on the folder up at the top in your essential content. And I love it, right? Thanks for showing it from your live system, everyone. I think it's great. And I also want to just applaud you. It's not every day that you have your CEO kind of looking over your shoulder, seeing
No
how
pressure.
you're doing and no pressure. So just, I'm going to take a couple minutes and just add a little more color. You know, the way we architected this is we, as you can see, there are the videos, which is great. You can see there's the coaching guides, which is great. You can see the templates, but we also are very thoughtful about how we're going to drive training and reinforcement. And so each of these numbered coaching huddles are designed to be meetings in a box. And you saw the learning path that Nate showed you, and he went through decision criteria, which is great, but we really need to help you, help your teams master the concepts. And so if we click on metrics, because this one it's a good one. It's really hard for teams to grasp being great at uncovering the metrics. And you can see we've got description, definitions, and just like Nate showed, I'm just going to go slowly here. There's a definition. There's meeting prep, and then there's meeting recap emails, and you can see video, and then meeting recap emails is practicing how you can write metrics-oriented meeting recap emails. And then there's a video on driving urgency, and then there's an exercise where you can identify your personas and apply the personas to metrics by persona, and then deal coaching. How do you actually do some coaching with your teams around deal coaching, so you can see how organized this is? Metrics has two sides. There's what are the metrics? What are the most important KPIs and metrics that we want to be able to uncover and solve for our customers? We got to get our teams to be great at that. Awesome. And then number two, what are the story-based, metrics-based stories that we want to be able to tell once we figured out what those metrics are? So you can see here, there's a storytelling tip, and then click on practice storytelling. Like, look at that. Boom. Now I've learned about metrics. I've learned how to write metrics emails. I've learned about personas. I've done all that learning. And then I'm going to actually go and record a story here based on a scorecard. And I love it. Look at you're going to show me your little video here, which is great. And there he is, right? So this is immersive learning at scale around MEDDICC. And we're making it really easy for everyone to get access to MEDDICC. And by the way, whether you're doing MEDDICC or MEDDICC or 1P or 2Ps, you can, as Nate showed, you can drag and drop and modularize it. $25,000 per year, up to 100 users. And I wanted to just put that out there so folks appreciate that there is a cost, but it's not at the same level of cost as you would if you were to hire a consultant to come in and do this for you. And you've got the full customization ability, and you can drag and drop, and we're going to continue to update and refresh this as well. And so if anyone is interested in going deeper, having a conversation with Nate or one of our other experts, and really understanding how you can internalize this with your business, how you can map it to your go-to-market, we love to support you and help you. I want to thank everyone that's joined this session. There's a lot more. There's a lot of great videos and assets available. You can go to the MEDDICC page off of our website. You can actually see some of the training. There's one of the modules is on the page. There's one of the video lessons on driving urgencies. You get a feel for the quality of the content, but we're really excited. We're really pleased that we're able to deliver MEDDICC by SalesHood to the market right now, right here. It feels like it's the right thing. We want to welcome everyone, book a meeting with my team, and looking forward to seeing the impact that MEDDICC will have on your organizations and MEDDICC by SalesHood is having on you and your teams. Thank you, everyone.